It should be visible, guys. Yeah. Sorry, there's a little delay in between. So I'm going to run this for now, and we'll just look at it together, okay? And I'll tell you from where we stopped, okay? In case if you just watch that video till the end, I'll tell you from, where we stopped, okay? All right. So if you look at this guy here, we are going to insert some stuff here now, and then we see what happens. Fine. So you see there's little color added, right? So this blue color points into insert button, and this green color points into, again, sorry, fetch, okay, data. So we are in the insert data column now. So let's do something here, okay? So I'm going to enter something. Just give me the name of a medicine. So let me try entering $650, fine, which is for headache. Actually, in Nigeria, we call it paracetamol. And today is a blend. It's a kind of, it belongs to the class of paracetamols, right? So I'll just check this. And this is evening. Now we go back to evening. And I'm going to click on insert data. So did you see here data insertion failed? Okay, sorry, there was a toast message to that effect. I'll tell you why that is happening, okay? Now, let me say I want to insert paracetamol, and I'll tell you why, because I have actually inserted them before. Paracetamol, all right? So I want to insert the same. Fine, I click on insert data. Data inserted successfully, okay? So where is this data? Where is it? So go to app inspection. All right. Please, can somebody confirm if I'm audible, please? Just confirm. If I'm audible, just type Y. Okay. So I will continue. So if you watch here, you see I have implemented this constraint, right? That it has to be a primary key. Okay. It has to be a primary key. And that is what we are seeing there. Okay, that's why it did not allow duplicates. Okay. Okay, so all right, thank you. So now let's continue. Okay, so if you look at this now, you'll be able to see that. And what I want most of you to pay attention is, most times there's this time delay. Okay, there's this little time lag between you inserting and retrieving. So in that case, what you do is you just come back here and just click on this thing, okay, refresh table. Fine, and it will refresh it immediately, okay? So insertion is done. Now let's go and retrieve data. Fine, so I minimize this and I'm here in the fetch data. Remember, we just inserted something, okay? So if you go back here, you will see that based on the dates, fine, today is 22nd, there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've inserted 4 medicines, right? Okay, some medicine name, but 4 of them on today's, but if you see evening, 3 of them are there in the evening and only 1 in the afternoon, right? Okay, fine. So I'm going to minimize this and let's retrieve based on today's date. Oh, sorry. Make sure the cursor is there. 22nd, 06, 2022. Okay, so when I retrieve this now, you're supposed to perform select star operation, right? So retrieving all the items that corresponds to this key, okay, search, okay, or this query. So about 3 of them we expect to see. Did you see them here? $650, vitamin K, and paracetamol as a toast message, right? Okay, let me repeat that again. So you see $650, vitamin K, and paracetamol. Fine. Now let's check. One was in the afternoon, right? So you see only Panadol 23. Okay. All right. So this is what we are going to do now. So I'm going to stop this for now and possibly minimize this, and I will show you where we stopped in the previous class. All right. So I'm going to go back here and get back to my design view. That means I need to open my activity underscore main.xml. Now there I go back to my split mode, no problem. Fine. And go to the design. I wanted my split mode only. Drag this little bit. Fine. And please remember, like in case if you are joining us for the first time, don't resize here, please. Rather, use this zoom button. Okay, zoom in and zoom out. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to run this now. Now, if you see, this is what we had in the initial case, right? So even if we try typing something now, and let's go to the app inspection tab. So here, there is no database created, nothing at all, right? Watch here, nothing to show, right? Fine. Just in case if you didn't see this, if you click on App Inspector tab, you might not get, it might leave you to Background Task Inspector. Next is your Network Inspector, and finally is your what? Database Inspector. So ensure you click on that in case if you happen to land here by chance. Fine. So go back to that Database Inspector, and if you try inserting something now, you say $650. Fine, and you just maybe choose today's date. All right, so maybe it's evening only. Now, if you insert, obviously, notice message, nothing, right? That's because we have actually not done anything, okay? And let me just put you through what we did in the previous class, and then we continue, okay? So no need of this, right? I can actually minimize this. And let's look at the codes together. Fine. If you look at your XML page, I'm referring to activity_main.xml, you notice there are things which I added, right? I added a color. Okay, leave that. Let me go to this Insert tab. You see I added another color, right? Called Victory. And for those that might be joining us for the first time, yes, you need to write a custom color. Fine. You can call it your name, call it anything. If you like BJP, you call BJP. If you want Congress, you put Congress. Okay, in Nigeria, you put PDP, APC, anyone, any party. If you're into movies, fine, Bahubali, KJF, anything. Now that means I'm going to go to my values, okay, folder, and you can see them here. Define any color of your choice or colors of your choice. This is my English name, this is my Igbo name, okay? Okay, Nigerian name. And that's what I just did here. Fine, so that when I'm inserting, I know actually the color blue matches. When I'm retrieving, that color matches. That's only what modification I have done here, right? Okay, so I'm going to close my colors.xml now. It's not necessary, right? So let's go back to main activity.java. What we did, we mapped all the IDs, no? Right? So first of all, created classes of type, whatever, okay, of the view type. And then we map them here, fine. And after that, what did we do? We now checked, right, the visibility. We toggled it, whether it is visible or not. And that is where we stopped. That's all. So what are we going to do next? Okay, so next thing what we have to do now is we need to now make sure that whatever we have mirrors. Okay, please, in case if it drops, just message me on WhatsApp, okay? So whatever we have, we mirror what I'm going to show you next, right? So you should be able to insert, you should be able to delete. Sorry, that is just another question. How do we delete then? Fine. So now there is actually no method to delete actually from the Java code. We have to go back to the database and delete it. Now you can turn this into a full-fledged project, right? Perform all the CRUD operations, right? So you should be able to update. Instead of just saying insert, you have to create, like when you say insert, then you have to update. Say if you want to edit that, you have to delete as well, okay? And maybe you can give an option that you can convert whatever, you can view the contents of the database in Excel sheet or something like that, okay? All right. So having said that now, we will continue with the next step. So what is the next step now? Fine. So we need to now create what? A functionality that will be able to do what now? What is it that we want to do? We are done till here. We are able to what? Do what now? Look here, check whether the button is set or not. That's it, right? Okay. So after this now, we now need to talk to the database, right? We have not done that, yes? So this was where we stopped. So what we'll do next is, we now need to do what now? Create a database query or a database script. Okay, so how do we create that? We want to do that from the Java class itself. So we go back to the what? Package thingy. So your package, you just right click there, say new, say class, fine. So what do you want to call this? You can give it a unified name. You are going to call it database connection. So I use database connection like that. So this is the class name. So what would this class hold? It will hold, and please listen, immediately you do that, it's going to open it in a new window, and you see it here, DB connection. Okay. Now what you will do is, with this DB connection now, we now need to do what now? Write methods that will be able to create what? The database, fine, possibly insert into it, and also what? Retrieve from it. That's what we need to do here, right? Okay. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to repeat this, okay? I'll repeat this again. Now what you do is, if you want to remove this, you just go to refactor. You can actually rename or you save delete, fine? So let's say you want to delete this, okay? You just do that and it is gone. So what we did, right click on that stuff, new class, and we called it what? DB connection. That's it, fine? Okay, pay attention to what you actually, that you needed a class, not an interface, fine? Okay, this is done. What you should remember here is, it has to, sorry, it says, okay, IDE error occurs, no problem. I believe the emulator, the script builds properly. I just believe that, okay. So what we need to do now is, like, we now need to do what now? Override some methods that will be able to create and also do what now? Select also from the database. So to do that, I need to extend what? The helper class. So you have to say the superclass, that is the helper class, extends what is called SQ. Now, once you type, you see you're not extending SQL data or exception, we need the helper class. Okay. As soon as you do this now, it will tell you, okay, 1 minute. Yeah, press Alt, enter. Okay, make this an abstract class, so I actually don't need this. Fine. I don't need this, so it should be public by default, no problem. So this is fine. Now, in here, I need to do what now? I need to now override some methods. So two possibilities are there. You can kind of start typing them, okay? But I might need to press Control O, I think. Yeah, okay. So you see, I need this guy. So the first one, I just pressed Control O. I need the database connection. That will tell me, it's like, what is the name of the database which I want to create, and then I will go and create the database. Fine. After creating, I should be able to insert into it, and again I should be able to retrieve from it. Fine. So I just did that and then pressed enter. Now if you watch here, so it says it has imported so many things here, and you see it created that DB connection, right? So now here we have all this, but what I need is only, I need the context, and then I need to, I need to refer to the medicine name or the database name here, and you see this says factory, fine, and then version, right? So you will see what happens as soon as we start typing some stuff here. Now I'm interested in only the context, okay, because most times I just need to refer to the present context, and then I'm gonna, remove everything from here. Once I do that, I'm now left with what? Oh, sorry, I needed only the context only, and then create an instance of that, called it context, and then what is the name of the database that you want to create? So the name of the database should be of a string type, right? So I called it a medicine database, anything. So for uniformity sake, I'm just gonna call it like this only. And then the factory, and then the version, the factory, I just keep it empty for now. So as soon as you type that and then move to the version, so the version, I just want 1, okay. So you see, please pay attention. You see, I did not type name, right? I did not type factory, I did not type version, right? Immediately I just typed the name of the medicine, and then just 0 and 1, all these things were populated. Fine? Okay. So far, so good. We will now continue with the rest, okay? So what are we going to do? Now I said, no, that we now have to do what now? Override the word on create and on upgrade method, right? So what you should remember is, make sure you are still inside the main class, And here, after this is done, I need to do what now? Create the what? Override the onCreate method. That is the onCreate method which we have in this main activity.java. So what I will do again, I'll just say Control O. Now I need this onCreate method, this one, fine. So immediately I click on this, so you see it will add this override public void onCreate SQL database. Now the database name, sorry, the object of the database. So you might actually delete this and just call it dbase, fine. And here now we want to actually execute some query, right? So what is it that you want to execute? You just need to create a table with some constraints. If you watch, initially we had that which says that the table, it has some, the data set was not able to, what am I saying? We were not able to insert duplicates in the table, right? So that is what we want to do now. So that means we have to set one of the column as a primary key. So using this reference, so I'm going to say type this execute. So you see the execute SQL. Now, the way you create table in SQL, you say create table, table name, column, column name, data type, and all whatnot, right? So we're going to type the same thing here, create table. So what is the name of the table? Made. Now, so this is where it's becoming funny, okay? So I'm going to call this now made table. Now, remember I have actually not closed the string, right? So here, table, table name. Now, column is called medicine name, then the type is text, fine, and I used primary key, fine. Okay, that is done. I now need the next one, which is the date. Okay, so the type is text. Okay, you might say, okay, why in caps lock, right? Because it's a data type, no? And then the last one is the time of the day. Again, that is text, fine. Okay, so if we are there, we now need to ensure we close this properly, all right? So we are inside here, we've closed this, and then we also, you see here, so this create table, this opens and closes the last one, and then this opens and closes this, fine? So table is created. What do we do next? After table is created, we now need to do what now? Insert into that, right? So for that, another method also which we have to override is still looking at us, fine? So let me remove some unnecessary spaces there. And then I will override this next method, which is called onUpgrade, fine? I press Ctrl O. Now I need upgrade, right? So come down there. It's called, I saw it here. onUpgrade. Where is that now? It was actually here. Okay, I think I will just type it. It will appear. Okay. 1 minute. It should be here actually. So, so I needed this. Control O. And upgrade. I think somebody's becoming old. Okay, so yeah, on upgrade, see here, downgrade is there. Where is upgrade now? Yeah, sorry, yeah, okay. So I think I'm becoming old. All right, don't mind me. Okay, so an upgrade is still there. Now what we do, okay, the reason we are actually doing this is to ensure the overriding method is, the annotation is added, okay? So for now, this is overriding, and next, what we need to do now is to write a query that will insert some scripts into what? The database, right? So what we do, we now say, okay, fine, insert values, or call it anything. So it must be of a public type, and it has to take a Boolean value because we want to check whether the data is successfully inserted or not, fine? So Boolean, call it anything, insert values. Okay, so once I click on this, next I'm going to say is of type string. What do I need? Some made name, fine. And then string, what do I need? Made dates. Okay, the date, and then type string, what do I need? The time of the day, fine. Okay, So in here, I will now need to do what now? Open the database for writing. That is, I'm going to use what get writable date object. Okay, so if I'm going to do that now, that means I need to say, okay, find SQL. So as you type that now, SQL database, that is what I need. So I'll type it in full SQL database, the second option. So I just use this reference, database is going to be equal to, okay, since the context is all I needed, that's what, okay, get writable, it should be there, second option. Okay, so what this is going to do is it will just open up the database, and then at the end actually to close it. Usually we can do that, okay, once we are done writing, then we can actually close it. Okay, so this is fine. Next, what we'll do is we now need to save the values, so we're going to use what? Context values. Context is there, so this one, fine. Then let that be the object only, and then we have okay, yeah, new what? Okay, context values, fine. So what is it going to hold? This will hold sets of values like, you know, your name, your dates, and your time, fine. So that's why we created this reference, so it's called context. Okay, yeah, you have to start with capital C, and you get it there, fine. And that semicolon is there. So what are we going to do next now? Once we have all this, we now have to start storing them in the database, right? So it's more like you keep using a dictionary approach, where you have to take the keys along with the values. So I use the context values dot, call my puts method. Sorry, if you want that here, you can actually see the key and the value. So the key is a string. So what's the name of that string? Is medicine. Okay, name. So what I'm actually referring to is this medicine name. Make sure you type it properly. So where here, this one, okay? Medicine name, and we are not done yet, right? So what is the reference? So the reference is called med name only. So sorry, I'm not done. Yes, so the reference to this is called med name, right? So I'll just say med, and that's it, fine. So as soon as I choose that, you see it says, okay, fine, yeah, it has been referenced here, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for this, for that, and others, fine. Okay, so no problem. Yeah, 1 minute. What is this telling me here? Okay, return void, no problem, we are not done yet. Okay, so let's continue. So we will click on this, Control C, then I'm going to do that for the date, and I'm going to do it for the time as well. So what you do in the date, this reference is called date, and this reference is called time only, so you change it accordingly. So this becomes what? Date, and this is med date, fine, medicine, okay, dates, it has to be like that, and the rest is for time, and this is med time, okay, time, fine. All right, so after this is done now, we remember, since we said that this class is of this method is of type boolean, we have to check, right, whether the data is successfully inserted. So for that, I will need one more variable called result of type int. Okay, int, obviously, what if the value, because you see we are taking some long values, right? So if the value is length, beyond int type, so I can use double in this case, fine. Let me just keep it as long only. Say, okay, fine, I need to insert into this, right? So I will need this reference, fine. Okay, so it says that variable is created, now it's being referenced. Dot what? So this is what we can actually do, okay, when you want to delete. So you can see delete there, you can also see replace, and you can also see update, right? So delete is like your string. The first one will be your table, so see here, table, and then you put your where clause, fine, and the last one will be your context value. That's what we're going to do now. So dot insert is what, sorry, database dot insert, and in there, since the first one is of that type table, no, so what is the table name? Med table. Usually when it's a string, you have to type it properly to avoid mistake. So med table is done, and next I just type null, okay, and finally that is the column hack, and then finally I need the context values. So remember to complete this semicolon here. Now I will check whether the data is inserted or not. Fine. So what I will do inside here still, we just check if what now the result is true. Okay, for now, if it's not inserted, you return -1, otherwise you return true. So instead of saying -1 and 1, obviously you have to return a Boolean type, return. So I will return false, that it's not there, otherwise I will return true. Fine. So this is done. And lastly, before we move to retrieving this, we can actually check it to see if it's working. Now, so far there is no error, but what we can do is let's just write this completely because I don't want to keep you guys for so long. So let's write for the retrieving also. So inserting is done, right? So, but one thing I forgot to tell you, okay, is like you have to call this method in your main activity.java, right? Remember we overwrote all this stuff. Fine. So let's just do that before we forget. So if you go to your main activity.java, fine, you now need to call that method. What is the name of that? For what? Inserting, right? So we need to call it here. When I go to main activity.java, under my onClick method, because that is where is that, and that's onClick here. Okay, here on click, I need to call that method. Okay, so if you remember vividly, I need to perform insertion operation, right? So for that, I need to create a reference to the database connection. Okay, so where do I do that? Okay, I need to go all the way towards my onCreate method and create a reference to this. Okay, so you can put it here just to show that, okay, this is the way you are going under main activity.java. Fine. Now I just need this, I call it db connection. Okay, so if I'm going to say db connection, then that means I need that instance, the type here, right? So it is of what database class, no? So db class. So this database class, I use this reference, so db connection, and now it's now available here, right? So if I type this, fine, I will just create an object of that class. So new what? db connection, that is the class, fine. And in that, I'm going to use this context, fine, and that's it. Okay, so this is done. So with this now, I need to go back to my what? onClick method, and now call the what now? Insert operation, or insert method, right? So in that insert, what we saw was what? A toast message, which said that data successfully inserted, right? So if that holds true, I need to do this here. Okay, the last thing we did was to do the spinner thing. Fine, that's okay. I need this, right? So two cases: when the data is inserted and when the insertion failed. So when it was inserted, we have to use that object now, db connection dot, what is the name of that method? Insert values, right? So what are we inserting? The name, the dates, see the dates and time in that order, right? Fine. So after this is done, we now need to check whether it was inserted successfully. If it is inserted successfully, print a toast message, successfully inserted. So you just say if this insert was successful. If it was successful, do what? Print a toast message. So what are we going to print? Say toast dot make test. Okay, now get application context. What do you need? You have to pass the text now. Data inserted successfully. Data inserted successfully, something like that. Okay, now otherwise what you should do, you say insertion failed. Now we are not done, right? So we need to say now what? Now toast dot what? You want it to be long or short? That is up to you. Fine. So since we want that to be for a longer time, I will just use those dots, length long, fine, and obviously you have to call the dot show method, fine. Okay, that is done. That is in the true case. So what happens in the false case? Okay, so and if you do this, okay, if you do this before you go to the false case, you need to reset everything, right? So that in case if you want to insert another data, right? So that's why we use this reference for medicine name and medicine date, and set null, set text to null, fine. So this clears the buffer and then gets ready for you to insert the next elements. In this case, you can call it the next data, fine. So dot set text, oh sorry, not set visibility. I need a dot set text. Okay, I wipe everything that the context of the contents. Okay, so and then be ready to insert new data. If method is over, so let's go to the else part. So what we have to do, those dots make test. Okay, we need what? Get application context. Again, data insertion field, data insertion field. Okay, and then same thing, those dots, length long. Okay, and finally dot show. Okay, right. So this is done. All right, and make sure so far like you are not getting any error, especially when dealing with braces. Okay, so remember what you have to do, and then we need the last step. But remember, the last step should not go outside this, right? So this is, you see the onCreate method. The last step also should be there. Okay. Now, so what I will need to do now is, I'm done with this, so I can come out of this completely, right? So this closes this on click, and this is for the insert by method. So this is for insert, right here. So I'm done with this, so I need now to continue with the next. Fine. So the next is what happens when we want to retrieve from the database. So we get back here, and then we have to look at the retrieval. Okay, and once we are done, we will now just run this once for all. Okay, please ensure you are not outside the method. Okay, so inside here, I'm just going to do one thing. I will just create another method, okay, a function of type cursor. Okay, so this cursor is kind of an object that returns a kind of sets of values, right? Since we'll be fetching this from the database, right? So, and we fetch it based on some criteria. So we use that, and then we call this retrieve data. So this retrieve data, now I'm going to retrieve only the dates and the time. So guys, I'm almost done. Okay, date and again string, and you got there and you have time. Fine. Okay, so what we do next is we now need to open this database in readable mode, right? Remember here we opened it in writable mode. Now we are going to open it in readable mode. Okay, so I'll now need to create an object of type cursor, of class, that class cursor only. Now, before that, I need to open the database in readable mode, right? So I'll say SQLite database, fine, use this database only as a reference, equals same thing, this dot, now what? Get readable data, fine, database. All right, now this is done. Okay, so this we're going to assign to whatever we retrieve from the database dots. I'm going to perform select operation, right? So I'll use raw query. Now I need the SQL query. Okay, so the SQL query, so you see as soon as I type the string, this SQL came up, right? So it's asking me now to write the SQL query, so which is select. I need to pull everything, right? Select star from, what is the table name? Med table. Okay, so where, okay guys, be very careful when you're typing this. So where date equals, okay, now it's going to become funny. So this date equals, so open, I need to take date and time, right? So I just have to, inside here still, I open a single quote with another double quote. Okay, fine. Now in here, and then I'll close the single quotes here, and I put space. So first, I'm going to take the date and that is, I need both dates and time. Okay, so this is fine. I also, okay, fine. I need dates, that is plus dates only. So you can see there. Again, I'm going to add it to, concatenate it to it, what? The time. So this is fine. I'll say and. So I need both date and time, right? So time equal, okay, again, I need my single quotes, double quotes, and double quote again, and one more single quotes, and then the last one which closes. So and time, I need this reference to time now equal what? Plus time is there, okay, and that's it. Fine. So here, let's see. Now you'll be getting some error, so ensure you close this properly. So this is fine, and then the last one will be the arguments. Okay, so I just type null for that, null. Okay, so it says the selection argument. Okay, now I just put semicolon. So far, yes. Okay, and then I think it's asking us to make this return. Okay, fine. So after this is done, what you have to do now, you just say return cursor. That's it. Fine. So you can actually take this, make it no, don't return void. It will not return anything. Then we get back there and you say return this what? Cursor object. Fine. And that's it. Okay. So make sure you close properly. The class is closed. The method is closed. So far it looks good. Now let's test it and then we are done. Okay. So we just test this now. And what I will do is I will look at my UI, and first thing, open the app inspection here tab, and I'm free to run this now. I'll run it and let's see. Okay, I minimize this guy. Okay, so let's see if the database is created. Okay, wait for some time. Okay, I'll minimize this once again, and then I will do that again. Insert. Okay. Oh, we need to go back to app inspection. Database, I'll refresh this. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It's taking a little time. Just refresh. I need this to reload. Okay, network. Okay, it should actually happen. It's taking a little time. But if you check, okay, nothing is there for now. Let me just insert, no problem. So let's insert now. We say paracetamol, fine. And then I will just say 22nd 06 2022, and it is night. Now let's insert. So data inserted successfully. Can you see that? So let's check now. It should be here. Yes. So the table is created. Fine. Now the paracetamol is there. Okay. Fine. So this is working. So paracetamol is there. Now let's try the primary key constraint. So we're going to try entering the paracetamol again, and let's see if it will work. Okay. If it will accept duplicate. And look at this key thingy, right? Key thingy is there. So let's go back, and we're going to perform the same insert operation again. I will say paracetamol. Okay, let me ensure that maybe I'll try using yesterday's, okay, or today, but no, sorry, yesterday's. Fine. Say yesterday's. I have 06/2022. Now it is, instead of night, now let me just change it to evening, and I say insert. What did you see? Data insertion failed, right? And if you get back here, you see it did not allow that. Okay, let's refresh. See, nothing, it didn't allow duplicates. Fine. Okay, so let's insert something else. And I'm going to insert Dolo 650. And I will use today's date, 22nd, and it is night. I will say insert data, that is inserted. I will just insert okay, I'm a Nigerian, don't mind, vitamin C. Okay, so I'm going to insert vitamin C, and I'll try inserting this yesterday. Fine, I'll say 06, fine, 2022. I was also trying this keeper thing. Let's say it was in the morning. Inserted. So let's retrieve this now. So before we retrieve that, let's ensure at least that it is there. So I'll go to app inspection. Now watch, okay, you have to refresh this. Okay, so I refresh this and now it's there. Okay, so now let's try to retrieve based on today's date. It should give us paracetamol and the 650. So we go back there, we say 22, sorry, see where I typed that. Okay, get back, say 22nd, all 62022. Now, what is the time of the day? It was evening, right? It was night, actually. So let's try to retrieve, let's go to morning. Nothing happened. Okay, so let's get back to evening. Okay, in the evening, okay, it should, 1 minute, let's inspect this. So this actually should happen. Enter the date, 1 minute, 22nd, that is fine, and it was night. Oh, sorry, night, please, not evening, it was night. So retrieve, yeah, it should happen. So if it's not happening, let me just check what we did when we pressed on the retrieve button. Okay, so and go back to the activity, and then you get to your this. Okay, so when we say on click, yes, okay, so we actually did that, but we did not reference it, right? So we completed that, and then we have to go back to the main activity, right? So what is happening when we say retrieve? You saw that now, right? So I'm going to stop it. So we need to now map it here. So which button actually that is referring to it? See, here we have only insert. So for the last one, we go back to this main activity, and we have to update the delete. No? Insert is there, right? So the delete is referring to what? Go back here. When we say retrieve, sorry, I keep saying delete. Retrieve refers to what? This fetch thing, no? So button. So let's find the equivalent here. That was button fetch. So, and it's mapped here, fetch button. So we have done for insert, so we need to do that for fetch button. Fine? Okay. So this is fine. We go back here and we say fetch button dot set on click listener. Fine. So new, same thing, view dot set on click listener, and then the onCreate method pops up. So in this onCreate method, we need to complete some sets of queries. Fine. So what is that we're going to do? I need to take the date and time. Fine. So I'll say string date. Okay. I need the medicine date dot get text. Okay. Dot the string. Fine. I do the same thing for time. String time. Okay. Equal what? Medicine. So time, I need the spinner, right? Okay. So the spinner was called daytime spinner, right? So dot, I will use get selection because it's like a drop down list now. It's get selected item dot the string. Okay. And then what I need to do is, let me just have an empty string as a reference, because I will concatenate whatever I get with that empty string. Fine. So here I now use cursor, okay, to retrieve the data. So I call this method cursor. I'm calling it a method, is a class, please. So I use this, and then this is the object of that, okay, we wanted. And I'm going to talk to the database. It was called DB connection only. Fine. I'll call this method retrieve, okay, is capital R, retrieve, yeah, retrieve data. So you say it takes a string which is of date and then cursor type. Fine. So you watch here. So this is gonna like take the two of them, right? Retrieve data. So the first one is date, and then the next is time. Okay, so both is mapped, and okay, so we are not done actually. So what we do is it's going to take this one at a time, then, and we use this cursor dots what move to the first, right? So after it's done, it has to move to the next, actually move to first. Okay, so okay, this is the next thing. This is the problem now. Should I say move to next here or move to first? So I want the cursor to be pointing to the first item. Okay, think of it like I'm removing something from the database. Again, let the cursor point back to that. But while I keep retrieving items, I have to move to next. That means I need a while loop here. So I'll say do find I will do perform some operation. Make sure you close. Sorry. Make sure you close it. So Control Z. So this is where we are, right? So we use move next because invariably we want it to point to the beginning, and then do, that was what I just did now here. Fine, this is fine. I'll use a while loop to loop through them. So do what? While some are constrained. So now I will just complete this while this cursor points to the next item. Fine. So cursor dot move to next. This is what I was referring to. Okay, so I will put semicolon. So now let's get what we have to do. Okay, so in this case now, remember this empty string. Fine, I have to kind of store it back, but I need to link it up to whatever we are going to pull out from the database. That means medicine name, right, is what I need when I call this, right? Medicine name is what I need when I try to retrieve from here, right? So I'll be retrieving based on the date time, right? So based on that, I just need to return the medicine name. So if that is the case, I will need this. So it will be of type string. It's actually a long stuff. Let's see, otherwise I will copy paste it. So cursor dot, okay, get string, okay. Now inside here I need to use this cursor again, get the column index of what? The medicine name. Fine, medicine name. Okay, and this has to be converted to a string type. So for that, I make sure I use this string. Okay, dot value of is what I needed. Dot value of. Okay, so now I need to close this right here. Okay, now you might get this error message, okay, which says 1 minute. Okay, so let me move to the next. And then finally, maybe I just want to print it on a new line so that it won't be cluttered. Fine. And that's actually what we needed. Fine. So if you watch, what happened there was it was kind of giving us this text in a new line. Fine. So we try to do the same thing here, and that's it. Okay. So now put semicolon, and we should be done. Okay. So let's check cursor dots. Get string, we have value of. Okay, this should work. Column index, fine. Okay, okay. So most times you might get this error message, but I think when I refresh this, it goes. It says, let's see, replace with. Okay, not that. Okay, so let's run this, and we are done. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Again, we need to print a message, right? What is it? No. Like, you know, once I need a confirmatory message, right, guys? So yeah, that is the message. I need to return it. Whatever I retrieve, I need to return it in form of what? A toast message. So I will just stop this for now. And after this is done, remember, okay, this is done. I just need toast dots make text. Okay, inside there we need get application context. Okay, what was it? Whatever we have stored in the variable called med, and then call the toast message dot length long. Finally, dot show. Okay, All right, I think we are finally done. So let's see whether we close this properly. Okay, this closed, this closed. Okay, I don't know why I have. Okay, so I think that should work, and that's it actually. Okay, so I'll just refresh this. Fine, let's see what happens here. I will try to insert some more. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I will just insert data here. I say, let's just say Niva Queen, and maybe I'll just use 20. Now, if you watch, actually this is incomplete because I can actually insert data in the future. Okay, fine. This actually is good because you might need a reminder tomorrow, right? So that I don't see it as a problem, but why don't we select it, right, instead of typing this? Fine. Okay, so I want this to be reminded to remind me that I need to take this tomorrow. So I inserted this. Fine. Now let's try to pull this and get back to App Inspector. Try to refresh this once more. Niva Queen is there. So let me try to retrieve based on the 22nd. So if I'm going to retrieve, remember that was in the night, 22nd, and it was night. So if I go back, I say to us, keep typing something there. So 22nd 06 2022, and it was at night. Okay, I minimize this and I retrieve this. Now you see is the paracetamol. Can you see? Paracetamol and dollar 650. So let's try retrieving one more thing here. Let's try to take this Niva Queen. Okay, 23rd 06 2023. So I'll update this. When was the time of the day? That was afternoon. So I'll go to 23rd. Okay, let me try with the night and see what happens. So when you click on retrieve, so it crashes. So this is what I want you guys to handle, right? Now it's only working in the true cases, right? You can see it there. Now in the false case, it will crash. Fine. So this is what I want you guys to take care of, okay? And one thing again, watch here. Once you run this, I mean, if you close it, you see it says database is closed. You have to run at least insert one more for the database to be opened, okay? Because it doesn't really know what is happening here, right? So only when you insert something that the database will be opened, okay? So maybe let me just say vitamin K. Now I will just insert this and I'll try to pull whatever is inserted in the future, and we are done. Okay, so I will insert it now, maybe this morning, okay, afternoon, whatever. I will leave it in the let me leave it as morning only. Now insert is inserted. Now the database is opened. Now you see vitamin K is there, 23rd is there. This is morning, this is afternoon. So now if I choose, let me retrieve this one, morning, it will show. But if I choose anything, say like night, it will crash. So you see, this is not intelligent at all, right? So 23 or 6, okay, 2022. And then I'll go back to morning, right? And I'll say retrieve. So you see the vitamin K. Fine. So thank you so much, guys, for being patient till the end. Let me see if there are any queries. And I think we are done. So guys, yeah, I hope this session kind of at least added little thing, right? So thank you guys. I deem it fit to end the session now, right? Okay, see you in the next class. Bye for now.